This is NDTV and you are watching NDTV Prime.
Good evening and thanks for watching On Art. I'm Anu Subramanian. Tonight, we bring you three different stories of three very different artists. One is quite conceptual, one shows us that we do judge books by their covers, and one explores the concept of home through her art inspired by Ladakh. Plus, as usual, we've got a word from mojarto.com. It's going to be a great episode. Stick around. This is On Art. Shalina Vichitra channels her travels to Ladakh through her artwork, but it might not be immediately clear because the style she uses is non-representational art. It's not quite abstract, not quite figurative. What does that mean? Let's find out. That we are most exposed to is figurative, from portraits to photographs to pets to paintings of landscapes. At the other extreme is abstract art. Think S.H. Raza's geometrical abstraction. But what lies in between? You might see a shape on the canvas, but that is the only thing one can recognize. Everything else is an outburst of artistic, emotional experience. That is non-representational art. And that is what defines artist Shalina Vichitra's style.
I have, references, metaphors from, inspirations from landscape and, architecture and many other things. So, but there's no recognizable object per se. So we would say that it's a non-representational kind of work. The metaphors are coming, the images are coming from some references, and then they kind of get translated into something abstract. So yes, it is something in between. It's not totally figurative. It's not even representational because I'm not directly painting a specific image that represents something.
A decade of art practice and over 2 decades of journeys to Ladakh have led Shalina's artistic outbursts to become works that explore the many ways we live.
My work has been inspired by my travels to Ladakh. I won't say that I'm really painting Ladakh as in Ladakh, but I'm taking a lot of experiences, visual imagery from that place. And it kind of filters through my own experience and engagement from my travels and my interaction with the local people there and the environment. So it's the colors, the textures of the earth, all the geographic formations. They become metaphors, and then I kind of see them representing entities and emotions, existences, and those contradictions of our urban life, and that's how I kind of connect my image to what I'm trying to experience. A lot of my work is inspired by Buddhism, and because I've traveled, in that area where Buddhist culture is very predominant. So I've done like a series of works called Prayers for the Earth, and it was 1,000 white flags. I did 1,000 white flags, and I mounted them on a trekking trail in Ladakh and then left them there.
Experiences and observations filtering into Shalina's work find new meanings like wheels inspired by the traditional Buddhist prayer wheels.
The prayers are the act of rotating for me. The forms are what is being represented on that which comes from, you know, the tactile qualities of the earth and the formations and, you know, like the mountains and the triangles and the windows. So all that is part of the visual surface, and the prayers are the act of rotating.
The experience of watching the nomadic Changpa tribe in Ladakh find a new home every day led her to introspect on what it means to city dwellers and create the series Shelters and Where on Earth. Here, she navigates the relative concept of home by making the form of the shelters she paints abstract.
So I was engaging with the thought of what really a shelter means to an individual, because you know, to start with, you start thinking that like a house is supposed to be this you know, image of stability and something which is very permanent and strong, and then, you know, you see this group of people living in these tents, and that is the stability for them, and it's something which is so impermanent and fragile yet so stable for them, because that's what gives them the security from all the elements and the rain and the wind and you know, the extreme weather. So that led me to do this entire series.
As artists like Vichitra push their boundaries of how to express, styles like these are finding footing in the wider art world.
When I started off 15 years back from college, yes, it was difficult, and it's getting better, and people are relating to this kind of work a lot more than they were earlier, and especially installations and mixed media works. So yeah, there is a mix of all sorts of people. I would say that figurative work still has its place in the Indian market, but it's getting better, and a lot more people are relating to this kind of work now.
Nikheel Aphale is a calligrapher whose work spans from posters to books to products. And one thing that he teaches us is just how influenced we are by the fonts and typography we see. Let's learn more about this process. Writing can be a radical act, a devotional act, or an emotional one. After all, words carry meaning. But what about the letters that make up those words? Are there stories nested inside of those? This is the question explored by artist Nikheel Aphale through his calligraphy and lettering.
Now I'm practicing calligraphy for almost more than 10 years. Calligraphy is art of a beautiful handwriting. But in my perception, it's just not beautiful. Beautiful is a very subjective word. So for me, it's not only the rhythmic, consistent, but it expresses something beautifully. When I look at the content and look at the subject, I try to figure out what kind of a tool should I use. Not just a pen nib or something, but if it's a happy mood, let's create the happy mood with a different kind of the experimentation. Not just if I just dip the brush in the ink and start writing the letters, but I'm not happy with that. So I look at all the aspects of not just the ink, maybe even the paper, canvas, or a different texture, which actually adds to the word happiness. Calligraphy, it's a impromptu action and reaction kind of a play. You don't know where is your stroke is going to end, or you don't know how the ink is going to react to the paper or the canvas. Is it the ink is going to bleed, or is it that ink is going to give me a consistent grayscale? So actually I enjoy this process of uncertainty and the surprise elements.
The letters, as they collage and combine on a canvas, appear less like the text we see daily and more like abstract art. For Nikheel Aphale, letters come together in different patterns to form art.
I personally feel Devnagiri is an unexplored script. I'm in love with the form of that script. For me, the calligraphy is a spiritual experience. Being that I enjoy the interaction between my paper, pen and brush, canvases, how they interact with each other is an amazing experience.
When we come back, On Art steps into the strange world of magical realism as we see some art inspired by author Jorge Luis Borges. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.